The chairman of the National Credit Guarantee Company and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has hailed President Bola Tinubu's tax reforms as the most audacious overhaul of Nigeria's fiscal system in decades. Delivering the maiden distinguished Parliamentarian Lecture organized by the House of Representatives Press Corps in Abuja, Dogara urged government to ensure transparency, fairness and sustained implementation to build public trust. He warned that businesses may face short-term costs but insisted the reforms could simplify taxation, broaden the tax net and strengthen Nigeria's economy if properly managed.
By the time President Tinubu took office, the economic debris of this nation had become too conspicuous to be ignored. 22.7 trillion, we're all journalists here, we know this, had been printed and injected into the economy in the name of ways and means, thereby destroying the value of the naira in our pockets. Also, the dual exchange rate meant that some anointed people were making hundreds of millions of naira of forex allocations from the CBN, which is Central Bank of Nigeria, without producing any goods or offering any services whatsoever. And also tying our crude sales to foreign loans in the name of forward sales of crude was fast becoming the order of the day. Some of the foreign loans had been procured in order to help strengthen the value of the naira, a measure that could only be sustained by what experts call voodoo economics. So from day one, it was very clear that something urgent, nay, revolutionary, must be done to prevent our economy from imploding. So the president's job as an economic reformer began on day one. Now, every reformer knows that progress is not promised, it is fought for. As a tested Democrat, Mr. President also knows that for our economy to be worth its name, for our democracy solely to be worth its name, it must offer more than political and individual freedoms. It must offer economic choices which will lead to economic justice, most especially for the vulnerable who are least likely to recover from economic shocks. For decades, our tax system had been a complex, sometimes contradictory web of ordinances and acts. It was a system where too few shouldered the burden of too many, where enforcement was inconsistent, and where informality was the norm, not the exception. The goals of these reforms are ambitious and frankly necessary. Nigeria's 2025 tax reform package is the most audacious overhaul of our fiscal framework in decades, and in response to long-standing fragmentation in the country's tax laws and administration.
Other speakers, including Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented by the member representing Ekiti North Federal Constituency, Akin Rotimi, Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adediji, who was represented by Olufemi Olarinde, Executive Director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Alwa Ibrahim Musa Rafsanjani, Chairperson of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ FCT Council, Grace Ike, echoed calls for accountability, citizen engagement and effective communication of the policies. They stressed that success depends on how well revenues are being deployed to improve infrastructure, jobs and public services, with the media playing a central role in educating Nigerians on the new tax regime. As the debate continues, the real test of the reforms may not be in the laws passed, but in whether Nigerians can finally see their taxes working for them. Cassandra Yunumbe, Eagles FM News.